Hey guys, this is Sandy White from Simply Fit, your #1 health and wellness cheerleader. And today's segment, we're talking about a subject matter that not only affects our homes, but it affects our mind, our body, and our soul. We're talking about decluttering. When you declutter physically and mentally, you can actually incur a healthier, happier, longer life. So with that being said, let's jump right into it. So we're talking about decluttering. Decluttering your life will actually help you to be more healthier. When your brain sees just a whole bunch of disorganization, it is programmed to find the answer. But at the same time, your brain is there to protect you. So it will just kind of put the brakes on it, so to say, on you even moving forward, because it signals stress in your body. So it's like, we're going to not do this so you're not stressed out. But the cycle keeps going and it's never ending until you remove the clutter. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be talking about a couple things and how, in reference to how health and clutter, they don't match, but how they affect one another. So clutter causes stress. Declutter causes less stress, and you're more in a mood to move forward. You don't have, because stress is the outcome of what's going on in your body. So if we can cause you to have less stress, where you're not putting yourself at risk for a heart attack or constant procrastination, because when you're procrastinating because you feel like that it's something that you just dread so much. But a lot of those things, whether it's procrastination in the house or outside the house, causes more stress when you don't get the outcome that you're looking for. Does that make sense? So if I can give you guys some tips on how to declutter, that will make your life a lot better, a lot happier, and a lot healthier. Here's a book by Pastor Terry Savall. It's called Declutter Your Life. I'm going to put it up on the screen. I thought I had the book. I was going to show it to you guys, but just take a look at that. That one backs up with biblical scriptures. She also gives you suggestions on what you can do. Like, here's one tip. And this is so funny that she actually said that, because my mom used to do that to us, and I do it to my kids. If you want something new, you have to remove 3 things that you have not utilized in 6 months to a year or longer, because it doesn't make sense to have a lot of stuff just taking up space. There's no need for that. But here's an even better one. A lot of people are looking for so much from God, but you're not willing to remove certain things out of your life so he can replace it with what you're looking for. Okay, I'll give you another example. Say you are like, okay, I'm not feeling that scenario. You have a garage, you want a new car, or you need a new car, but the garage is filled from top to bottom. The purpose of the garage is so that you can store your car in there, so you can protect it from the elements and anything else that you may or may not want your vehicle exposed to. But the bottom line, the garage is there to house your car. So if it's filled where, you've got stuff all over the place where your vehicles should be, there's no way you're going to be able to get a vehicle. Does that make sense? Now, if you clean out the area of the garage where your vehicles are supposed to be, you now have a place to store your vehicle, and you're more likely to go and get one because now that space is open and it has a purpose. Do you understand what I'm saying? So look at different areas of your home, and I have examples that I am going to be sharing with you guys today to help you out with that. So that is several examples on how clutter can cause stress. But these are pads that I came across that I actually use. I like using a list because a list will not only keep you organized, it will keep you on track, and it will remind you of things. That 3 things all from keeping a list. So these are called the successful day list, and they have information that you can use on. I thought I had one that was loose. Oh, I do. And I actually filled one in. And it's an old one, but it's filled in. But these are the successful day list. So what you do is you write your top three things that need to be done for that day. And here's another tip. A lot of times you guys try to tackle everything at one time. And also, decluttering will help you when you have a healthier life. To make you healthier, so your life is healthier, it trickles down to everything. Remember, being healthy is more than just exercise. It's eating. It's what you're putting in your eye gate, your ear gate, your heart gate. It encompasses everything. And clutter, my friend, does not help with your health. So as we were saying about the healthy day note taker, or list taker, whatever you want to call it, it asks you to put your top 3 things on there. So say you are saying, okay, I am going to tackle clutter in my house or my office or my kids' room or the garage or, out in your backyard, wherever it is, because it will stop your brain from functioning the way it's supposed to. You will find yourself like having so much unnecessary brain fog when you have a lot of clutter. So you can put down your to-do list, and just so you're not overwhelmed, again, it gives you your top 3 most important tasks, and then it gives you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things that you can do for the day on your to-do list. And then it has some additional things like, did you drink your water? Did you make your bed? Did you do your self-care? It helps you out a lot. And then it has inspirational listening, tidy up, and then it has culture on there, and then it has learn and grow, spiritual intake, and you have, did you journal? Did you connect? Did you make a positive? Sometimes you guys need to literally just get out of your comfort zone and go make some new friends. So this one has a lot on there, but it's not confusing. So when it says connect, it's saying, hey, did you connect with someone new? And if you are in business, that is a potential business partner that you could be meeting. Did you eat foods that will give you energy? Or did you eat foods that depleted you? So I really enjoy this. And then on the back, it has your area. It's an area on here that you can write what you're meditating on. And then your days, your whatever your affirmation, because it gives you an opportunity to write 3 things on here on the affirmations that you want to be saying to yourself for today. And affirmations, in my opinion, always should line up with the Word of God. And I really enjoy reminding God what He says. I love those affirmations. Like He said, let the poor say that they're rich. He says to say that, or to bring Him back into remembrance of the promises that He said. He said that you would be the head and not the tail. He said you would be the lender and not the borrower. He said that He will open up windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing where you don't have room enough to receive it. He said He will rebuke the devourer for your sakes. Those are affirmations that I like to say to myself daily, because you have 10,000 angels, 72,000 angels that God has assigned to you. Are your angels sitting on the sideline? God is not obligated to repeat Himself. He's not moved by your emotions. Your emotions are just to locate you. Where are you right now when certain things come up, so you know how to address them. But those 72,000 angels, when you give them the word that God has given to you, that moves God. Your faith moves God. Those angels now come into play and will assist you. So now you got all this clutter. Okay, angels, give me the wisdom like God gave to Solomon, so I can orchestrate through all of this stuff. What can I sell? What can I give to the donation place? And what needs to go in the trash? Or what can I give away? Because sometimes, you know what? You spend money when you shouldn't, because you don't realize what you have. And that now comes into your clothes, the food that you have in your house, because it's not organized. You see how clutter plays into all areas of your life? God knows what He's doing when He tells you to declutter. He really does. And you need to get Him on board with you, asking Him to put His super on your natural to get back in order. It is okay to live non-cluttered. It really is. You can start decluttering right now. So let's jump into some more tips really quick before our time is up. All right, so let's talk about some simple routines that will keep your life organized, straight, and stress-free. One of them is keeping a list. The other one is what you say to yourself. And a lot of times when you see a bunch of clutter, or you're experiencing a lot of clutter, you can say things that you don't want to say. And keep in mind that God says you will have what you say as long as you don't doubt in your heart. And guess what? When we use words that are opposite of what God says, that cancels out what you are actually believing God's for. And that, my friend, is where a lot of us fall short. And we think God forgot about us. He didn't forget about us. We just violated a rule. So if you can keep yourself organized, it helps you to stay focused in so many different areas. And one of them, your mental, physically, emotionally, and spiritual. All of those areas will stay intact if you can stay clutter free. So to help you with that, this is another book by Pastor Terry Savoy. I kept saying Savoy. It's called Pep Talk. Now I actually found this one. I have this one. I know I have that other book. I don't know what I did with it, but I am going to find it. So in here, I'm just going to go through the table of content real quick. It has your Freedom Pep Talk. Chapter 9 has your Faith Pep Talk. And then Chapter 10 has your Financial Pep Talk. Let me tell you something. You will spend more money than you need. And I touched on this topic just a few minutes ago. when you have clutter, because guess what? You tend to buy more things than you need. And I'm going to give you an example, and because no one's immune to it. So I am very neat for the most part, but then I can get to the point where, like, if I'm cooking and I'm moving around and I'm doing more than I should, I'm not paying attention. And this happened to be, thank God it wasn't a major purchase, but I actually purchased, my son likes to cook, bake a lot. So a lot of recipes require salt. And then in some recipes where you're cooking food, especially like pasta, and you're boiling the pasta, you should put the salt in the water so it causes the pasta to cook evenly, and it doesn't actually stick. But anyway, I don't know how I messed the pantry up where the spices were, but I ended up purchasing 3, I don't know what the sizes are, whatever the normal size is for salt, 3 of them. I mean, I don't typically do this a lot, but my husband says, you do know you have salt, but he straightened up. So there's 3 different areas that we have our food categorized and we have it located. Well, he decided to clean up and put spices in one spot. Everything that could like match up with itself, he put in one spot versus how we had it before. And I had to get used to it. And after I got used to it, prior to me getting used to it, I ended up buying 3 containers of salt. And I didn't need, and they're brand new. I didn't need it, but I had to remind myself, and I'm suggesting this to you all. Once you declutter, you're going to have to keep a list or something just to remind yourself of, hey, this is no longer where it used to be. It's in a better place, or you've purchased it. Whatever it is, you're going to have to remind yourself so you don't go back and repurchase it or purchase more than what you actually need. This is a good book. It is Prep Talk by Terry Zaval Foy. And she has the other book that I told you guys about, the Declutter book. Utilize that. She tells you exactly, like some of the stuff y'all have got tags on it. You could actually sell that to Poshmark and get money from it. I always tell you guys about your journals. So you want to journal this experience. How did you feel? What was God telling you about it? Like in this, all the journals I have, they're usually Christian journals. So they have not devotional pages, but positive affirmations on here. This one says, I will devote myself to prayer, being watchful and thankful. So in your prayer time, in reference to clutter, again, ask God, can you get my angels to help me? And can you give, because this is how it goes. This is why no one knows the day and the hour that Jesus will return. God tells Jesus stuff, and then Jesus tells Holy Spirit, who's our helper, our leader, our guide. I usually say my GPS. Now, if you could get those 3 on board, well, they're on board, you get on board, and you're working with them, man, that declutter job would be so much easier for you. Plus, in the process, you can ask God, like I said, what am I keeping? What am I giving away? What am I throwing away? And what am I, like when I say give away to maybe somebody else that could use it, Goodwill, what needs to go in the trash? What can I sell? Do I need to keep anything? He will share all of that for you, a strategic plan of action. And you know what? For some of you all, this may become, if not a side hustle, it could be a business. If you ask God, if that's what you want, hey, out of this, can you give me a business idea from it? You never know. But I'm going to suggest to you, you need to listen. So first one was our list, our successful day list. You keep a journal, you do the prep talk. And then here's another one that I like: mental toughness for success. I removed the cover, so that's why I have to show you guys right here. You really have to be gentle with your mind. And in order to have that mental toughness, this book was written by Dr. Ivy Hilliard, Mental Toughness for Success, and its proven principles for biblical success. There's no way you're going to have, as a Christian, there's no way you're going to have biblical success when you are out of order. One thing I want to remind you guys: God does not operate in disarray and clutter. So if you're out of order in any area of your life, you need to ask Him, how can you get back on track? So it's not hard. I just told you guys what to do, and don't tackle it all at one time. So last week we were talking about, folks having to go back to work, and for some people that is a lot. And when you've been able to work from home remotely, I'm not being funny or anything like that. I've been there, done that. It's not that you get lazy, but you kind of get into the point, a level where it's, I don't care, because I don't really got to go outside. And if I do got to go outside, then I'll do what I got to do. But for the most part, I'm in. And what most people do, because I hear them say this a lot, they will dress from the navel up. So if I'm on the Zoom, you see all of this looking good, but then below, no. So what I'm saying is, even if you're working remotely, you should still care enough about your appearance. It is too easy to get into that habit, and then you stop caring for yourself. And remember, we are ambassadors of Christ in the earth realm. So even if you are in your comfy clothes, you still should look really good. You still should care about how you are representing Christ. You represent more than just yourself. And I tell my children, especially my youngest one, he's like, why is it a big deal for me to clean up my room or make up my bed? I'm just going to get back in it. Well, technically, no, you're not getting back in it, but it sets you up for success, because that's the first win of the day. So when you emerge from a messy environment, it takes your mind a bit of time to kind of wind down and get back on track. No different than winding down when it's time for you to go to sleep. Well, you don't want a pilot like trying to decompress before he goes through his routine of, let's make sure this plane is safe, we're going to take off. Or I don't even know if people do this when they get in their vehicle, but I do that. I check certain things, make sure everything is the way it is before I pull off. I don't want to pull off and I'm missing certain things. Like if you have kids, you kind of know what I'm talking about. Your kids they don't check anything. They walk out the house, and because it's happened to me. I've had to go back to the school for my oldest because he left his glasses. I've had to go back to the school because my son left his books. So I am now the checkpoint. Do you have your glasses? Do you have your lunch? Do you have all your books? Do you have your homework? What is it that checklist needs to go down? Because that is a time consumer and a waste of time, because you are in this. And the president just did, he addressed Congress today saying that all federal employees need to go back to work or be replaced. So you have to have a tight schedule right now. You have to, whatever you were doing when you were on remote, now you've got to get a tight ship, because it's more people going to be on the road, and you're back in the office where you may not have been for about 3 to 5 years. So a schedule needs to be put in place so you can get your mind set and ready so you can function happily. And even when you get to the office, don't bring a bunch of clutter. Don't bring a bunch of stuff in there. Come in there, keep everything minimal so you can rock and roll, and you give your brain an opportunity to be able to support you the way it needs to, versus you dumping a lot of unnecessary stress on it by having just, I don't know, the clutter is. I want to end with that, but I was thinking about, it's the show is called Hoarders. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that before, but there's no possible way for anybody to function properly. I had a glimpse of the trailers when they come on. One person that they kind of did a teaser on had a narrow pathway for the person to walk through the house. It was stuff from the floor to the ceiling. I am not kidding with you. And the person had, I'm not quite sure what was going on, but that's what happens when you have a lot of stress. But they had bags and bags and bags of trash. Now, you know, on whatever your schedule is for your neighborhood, you take your trash, you put it out to the curb, trash people come and get it. But for whatever reason, this person kept the trash. They tied it up in bags, but they kept it. And it's very sad. So when you start seeing yourself accumulate stuff, you need to ask yourself a multitude of questions. Why am I accumulating this? Why do I not want to let it go? Do I need some assistance? Do I need to talk to someone? Because a lot of times when people get to the point where they're hoarding stuff, they're cluttering a lot of stuff, it's a coping mechanism. So you need to ask yourself, what am I using this coping mechanism, this clutter, to shield me from? That's when you need to allow God to come in and give you wisdom. And you may need to go for counseling. Counseling is not a cuss word. It is a life saver. So what we've been talking about the entire segment is decluttering for health. You can use your list so you know what you're doing, which allow you to stay on track. You can use Prep Talk by Terry Seville Foy. I always forget her last name. That way you're speaking positive things to yourself and you're allowing your angels to come in and assist you. And then you also want to, what did I tell you guys? Keep a list. Her declutter book. So that declutter book, the Prep Talk, and the list, those are going to be your best friends. We want to get rid of clutter so that we can think better, feel better, operate better, and be healthier and happier, productive individuals. With that being said, I want to remind you guys, we broadcast every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. on WYTV7 platform. If you guys like this segment, hit the like and subscribe notification bell as well so you do not miss any segments. And share this with someone. And be gentle, be gentle, be gentle. There's a reason people hoard stuff. And a lot of times it could be they're lonely. They have lost a loved one, so they're in mourning. And then the other one could be a slight challenge going on internally where they need to go and seek counseling. We don't know until we talk, but it is not our job to judge. It is our job to help and to save so that they can live a long, healthy life. Love you guys. See you next week. Bye.